The trade war between the US and China never ends. This time, it's not about TikTok, Huawei, or semiconductor control. Funny enough, it's about beef. China's love for American beef was undeniable. The quality and safety of US beef had Chinese consumers hooked. They just couldn't resist it. The demand was huge. Here are some figures. In the first 10 months of 2022, the US beef exports to China hit a record 244,000 tons, up 28% from the previous year and worth $2.16 billion, surpassing pork's $1.36 billion. By the end of the year, beef exports to mainland China, including Hong Kong, soared to an unprecedented high, hitting a staggering $2.23 billion. This remarkable figure represents an impressive 30% increase compared to the previous year, marking a historic milestone. Unfortunately, this is changing because in September of 2023, China signed a bilateral agreement with Colombia that covers beef exportation among other farm products, bypassing the United States. This singular act of China is raising eyebrows in the United States. As China diversifies its beef sources to Latin America, a region historically allied with the United States, the Biden administration is seriously concerned. This video dives into the US-China beef war and how it concerns you. If you're new to this channel, kindly hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell notification to never miss out on our inspiring videos. Colombia, with its lush lands and a growing cattle industry, employs just under 1 million people, or about 7% of the nation's workforce, has become China's new crush, no pun intended. China now regards Colombia as a strategic partner, a term that US frowns at so much. Colombia has been working on improving their livestock trade, and the results are here. China is ready to partner with Colombia and establish a direct route for beef imports, which would amount to billions of dollars. Last year, Colombia exported about 45,000 tons of beef worldwide, valued at $200 million. As of August this 2023, its global beef exports are total 22,000 tons, worth $90 million US. If you think this is huge, wait until you hear how much China is prepared to make their deal with Colombia a success. Beef exports to China each month is projected to be at least 2,500 tons, about $15 million US. China, as always, has also offered financial and technical support to Colombia to improve and increase its beef production. China is also looking out for new opportunities, be it in Africa, Europe, and now in Latin America. They have recognized an emerging market in Colombia with potential and want to dominate it. It's a wise strategy the third-tier nations often employ, expanding to new demographics or markets. In this case, China is minimizing risk with their US trade agreements. Alright, let's talk about geopolitics. Colombia's meat exports to China goes beyond taste preferences. They are stirring up some serious concern for the United States. Obviously, it's creating new alliances that could exclude the US from vital trade agreements. Think of it as getting left out of a high-stakes business deal. China is strengthening its ties with Colombia, and there's a real possibility they will favor Colombian meat over the American variety. The US has been a beef market leader for years, and now a new competitor has emerged. They are gaining ground and taking away the US beef export market share. That's exactly what's happening here, and it's got the US worried. Secondly, there's the ongoing trade war between the US and China. Colombia's rising meat exports to China are like adding fuel to the fire. China could use its growing dependence on Colombian meat as a bargaining tool in negotiations with the US. It's like saying, buy our beef or else. The United States has become increasingly alarmed by China's expanding economic influence in Latin America and has taken some measures to counter it. One of such is the Build Back Better World program, alongside other members of the G7, which was launched by the White House in 2021. A huge loss. Now let's talk about the real-world consequences. It's not about meat, it's about jobs and economy. The decrease in demand for American meat in China could lead to job losses in the US meat industry. Why is this important? Well, in recent years, the US beef exports alone generated $62.3 billion in sales, 320,700 jobs, $10.1 billion in employee compensation, and $22.5 billion across all areas of the US economy. All of this could be gone if the US fails to redeem their relationship with China in terms of beef exportation. But it doesn't end here. Geopolitically, China's growing influence in Latin America through its partnership with Colombia could challenge US dominance. It's like a market share battle, but on a global scale. The US needs to reassess its strategies and get diplomatic to protect its interests. As China continues to gain ground in Colombia and other Latin American nations, the US needs to step up again, engage the audience, and adapt to the changing landscape. So in the world of beef export, the China-US beef export war is a mix of market dynamics, geopolitics, and economic impacts. It's a complex game where nations are strategizing just like businesses with high stakes and real-world consequences. Time for the US to get creative and make its move on this marketing chessboard.